Okay, so let's do this. Now, the topic today that we wanted to present was why every American should have a trust. Now, last week's article I wrote on the blog was about Prince, Purple Rain, 80s, pop music. You may know the song Little Corvette. Anyway, some of you are too young to enjoy Prince. He died about 5 years ago, and his estate is a train wreck. The biggest probate mess in the history of the state of Minnesota. No will, no trust. Now, I'm going to give you the myths and the misconceptions of why you may go, well, I don't need a trust. I don't have money. I don't have this. I don't have that. Slow down. I'm just going to give you some parameters. Now, this is not an infomercial to sell everybody a trust today. I just want you to at least put it on your radar. Maybe by the end of the year, then of next year, you get it done. Yes, every year we have special. This time of year in our Memorial Day special, we save 20% for our client. We give them 20% on their estate plan. They can allocate it to where just cash back or put it on another project at the law firm. But it's there, and we want clients to be thinking about it. But this is not going to be a sales pitch. Trust. Now, I'm just going to spend 5-10 minutes on this. Then I'll talk about whatever you guys want. I'm here for you. The type of trust I'm talking about is a revocable living trust. Certainly, not every American needs an irrevocable trust, some complex asset protection trust. There's the land trust strategy out there. Fine. Those are all other topics. I'm talking about a revocable living trust, RLT. A revocable living trust doesn't give you asset protection. It doesn't save you taxes. It keeps your crap organized. And someday you're going to die, I hate to break it to you, and you may want to leave a mess for your family. But you've worked hard to build assets, equity in your home, maybe a retirement account, maybe you got a little life insurance, I don't know. But anything you've got, you get to decide where it goes. You can plan. You can say, I want it to go to this kid, no kid. I want it to go to a charity. I want it to go to my brother, my sister, my mom, my dad. Some people go, well, I'm single, no kids, not married. Well, that's the biggest question mark of all. Where does it go? That was Prince. He died single, unmarried, no children. Everybody's coming out of the woodworks fighting over his assets. So the trust is the foundation of your trifecta. And I want it to own your home. I want it to be the beneficiary of your life insurance, any investment accounts, gold, silver, crypto, rental property. And if you have rental property, you're going to put that into an LLC, and the LLC will be owned by your trust. If you have an IRA, like a Roth or anything like that, it'll be, the beneficiary would be the trust. And then if you have an LLC for your side hustle, it'll be owned by your trust. And if you have an S corporation, many of you will graduate to that. Either an LLC taxed as an S, or you just go straight to an Inc. Your S corp will be owned by your trust. All of your assets would be owned by your revocable living trust. Okay, that's where it fits. Now, let me give you the whys. I even told my team, I was like, I'm just going to go for it and just make sure I've got, I hit all my bases here. Get it, Yankees, bases, huh? You know, it's the little things. The first misconception out there is that you have to be rich to need a trust. Wrong. Do you have a little life insurance? It's going to go to somebody. It's going to go into your estate. Do you have a little equity in your home? Do you have a little money in an IRA? I don't care if it's 10 grand, 100 grand, or $1 million. It's going to go somewhere. And a trust helps you define where and how. So if you do have some young nieces or nephews or children, you're like, man, I don't want them running around like a trust baby with an extra 50 grand or 500 grand burning a hole in their pocket. So when you have a trust, you can put all sorts of rules on how that money is distributed. So you don't have to be rich. If you have any assets at all, they go into a bucket and you get to say, oh, they get money when they turn 20, 25, 30, 35. They can have money for college. They could have money to buy their first home. They could have money for a wedding, start a business. You get to put all these rules in here. You could say, if they're still married to that bozo, they don't get anything. If they are on drugs, they don't get anything until their life's in order. I have 2 pages of ideas where you can jack up your kids or your nieces and nephews' lives. You'd love it. It's called dead hand control. You just bring your hand out of the coffin and just mess with their lives. It's great. They'll need therapy for years. It's good for them. If you're going to give them money, might as well have it come with some strings, right? Put in a little budget for therapy too. Do them good. All right. Now, that is a trust. And I know I sound like I'm crazy or this is joking, but it's kind of not. If you die with no plan, the courts are going to decide who gets your money. Whatever's left of your IRA, whatever's left of your crypto, whatever's left of your rental, whatever's left of your 401k, anything, a court is going to give it to any of your beneficiaries when they turn 18, or an ex-husband, an ex-wife, kids, brothers, sisters, mom, dads. People are going to fight for it, and it's going to be ugly, and it's going to cost lawyers and time. With a trust, none of that. It's your Bible. You write the verses. You decide who gets what, when, where, and how. We freaking write it down so it can't get challenged or it's going to cost a lot to challenge it. You put it in the drawer. You're done. You're done. I've edited my will and trust because they come together. I've edited mine once, I should say modified or restated. I did a one-page amendment once in the last 20 years. You're like, Mark, you're a lawyer. You probably fiddle with it all the time. No, it's on the shelf. If something happens, take it off the shelf. But we've only made one change. It was after a family reunion. Didn't go so well. My wife's like, they ain't raising my kids. Cut. All right. So we did a little change. That was it. I'm not kidding. That was the only time we've changed our trust. So it's good for generally the rest of your life. I recommend clients kind of modify it every 5 years, and you control the words, the rules. You can change it anytime while you're alive, and then when you die, boom, it's irrevocable. Now, if you're married, you can give rules to your surviving spouse. If you're married with his, hers, and our children, you may say, I carved this out for my first set of children, then let's carve this out for each other and this for our new kids together. I don't know. You get to decide. So, again, you do not have to be wealthy to need a trust. So, what are the benefits? You get to decide the rules for anybody, charity, kids, whoever. You decide on the rules. You want to do that. You decide. Decide the rules. You know what? That looks ugly. Let's do this. Number 1, you decide the rules. Okay. Number 2, we avoid probate. There's no court. No court with the trust. Next, I think you protect your money from lawyers and family that wants to fight about it. So you protect money from the vultures. The vultures. All right. Oh no, vultures. How do you spell vultures? V-U-L-T-E-R-S? U-R-E-S. What? U-R-E-S. Vultures. That's a word you don't write every day. Okay, and then number 4. What I like about a trust as well is it can be used during your life if you're in an accident. If there's something where you're incapacitated, you're in the hospital, whatever. Your backup trustee can run your affairs if you're missing, gone, sick, in a coma, who knows what. So you're going to be able to have a trustee back you up. And that's really big if you're unable to run your own affairs. Now I'm going to give you number 5, and then I'm just going to get into Q&A for you guys. You want to talk about the trust? Cool. If you don't, we'll just hang around. Okay, so number 5, I like a trust for privacy. Because with your trust, I want you to choose a name that's really anonymous. My trust is not Mark Kohler Trust. Whatever's on title for my home, beneficiaries of assets and LLCs and blah, 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 you're not going to know what it is. I want it to hide my assets. I want it to hide my address, hide my things. So you want to hide my things. And so you want to have a trust to help with identity theft, maybe a stalker. Everybody should have a good stalker, but there's a point. You're kind of done with it. You feel special, and then you're like, I don't want them around anymore. You get a TRO. That's called a temporary restraining order, and then you move on. Corey, my producer, this good-looking guy. How many stalkers have you had in your life? 2 or 3 girls?
35.
35? Wow. Now I think you're, joking around with me. Yeah. Fudging some numbers there. All right. So privacy is a big deal. And in today's technology circles of everything being on the web, privacy is not a bad idea. Now, in my trifecta, and here's my trifecta, my operations, my assets, and my trust. I love the trifecta. The trifecta. My corp, everybody knows the name. Everybody knows the name. My LLCs that own my rentals, you can't find my assets without a lot of work paying lawyers to file lawsuits and dig it up. And as long as you're not a bad person and the government's not after you, it's going to be hard for people to find your assets because my LLCs and trusts don't have my name on it. But out here, Mark J. Kohler Inc., great. Get a hold of me. Buy stuff. Say hello. Use our services. Use our company. Because you want to brand your operations, but you don't want to brand your holding company.